In a world overwhelmed by noise, constant news, and endless pressure, we begin to feel as if we are required to care about everything. We fear missing out on opportunities. We fear losing people's approval. We fear appearing as failures in the eyes of society. But the truth, the one we rarely like to hear, is this: we cannot control everything. We cannot please everyone. And we cannot carry the weight of life on our shoulders without eventually breaking. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a FCK by Mark Manson is an invitation. An invitation to be honest with yourself and to finally face the truths you've been avoiding every single day. Here, you will discover that true indifference is not about ignoring life. It is about wisdom. The wisdom to choose what truly deserves your attention, the courage to let go of what doesn't, and the ability to live peacefully in the middle of a chaotic world that will never slow down. You will find ideas that are simple, yet deeply honest and powerful. Ideas that help you let go of the illusion of perfection, make peace with failure, and search for values that give your life real meaning, instead of chasing people's approval or collecting things that only leave you feeling empty. You will learn how to be free enough to say no, strong enough to take responsibility, and aware enough to understand that life is limited and that your time is far too valuable to waste on things that don't truly matter. This book will not change the world around you, but it may completely change the way you see it. And that alone changes everything. It will give you the courage to lighten your burdens, to live with honesty and calm, and to choose your battles wisely. Because in the end, you cannot care about everything, but you can choose to care about what truly matters. And in doing so, you can build a life that is clearer, freer, and more peaceful, even in a world that never stops. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, because what you are about to learn today might just be the turning point you've been waiting for. Chapter 1. You can't care about everything. Imagine this. You are walking through life carrying a backpack on your back. You cannot see how heavy it is, but you feel its weight with every single step you take. A backpack filled with people's opinions about you, their expectations, your constant attempts to please them, your past mistakes that you can't seem to forget, and your quiet, persistent fear of the future. You carry it day after day, until you forget that it was never meant to be carried at all. The simple truth, the one we often avoid admitting, is this: you cannot carry everything. And more importantly, you are not supposed to. It is impossible to please everyone. And the more you try, the more lost you become. The more you try to succeed at everything, the more scattered you feel, pulled in every direction, without any real progress. We don't like to admit that we are limited, but this simple truth is actually the doorway to our freedom. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your life itself is limited. No matter how hard you try, you cannot care about everything, because the moment you try to care about everything, you become a prisoner to everything. A passing comment suddenly feels heavy. A small situation turns into a deep wound, and a minor mistake feels like the end of the world. You live in a constant state of anxiety, trying to hold everything together, as if your hands were meant to carry the weight of the entire world. But the truth is, this is not life. This is silent exhaustion, slowly draining your soul, without you even realizing it. The art of not giving a FCK is not about becoming cold, or emotionless, or indifferent in a careless way. It is about choosing your battles wisely. It is about understanding that some things deserve your attention, your time, your energy, and many things simply do not deserve even a single second of your worry. It is about realizing that your inner peace matters more than explaining yourself to others or trying to meet their endless expectations. So ask yourself now, what truly deserves my attention? This question alone has the power to change the direction of your entire life. Because once you know what truly matters, you begin to realize that most of what worries you is not worth your attention at all. You begin to understand that your happiness lies in letting go, in moving past the trivial noise, without stopping to engage with it. Because stopping at every obstacle along the road only prevents you from continuing your journey. The moment you accept that you cannot care about everything, you begin to feel lighter. You begin to say no without fear. You begin to give your time and energy to what truly aligns with your values, not what others impose on you. Slowly, quietly, you begin to reclaim yourself, and you start building a real life. A life guided by your own principles, not by other people's expectations or your fear of their judgment. But before you can truly decide what deserves your attention, you must first take responsibility for your choices. Because true freedom begins the moment you realize that you, and only you, are responsible for your life, your decisions, and the results that follow. And this is where your journey toward inner strength truly begins. A journey we will continue exploring in the next chapter. Chapter 2. The power of taking responsibility. Sometimes we convince ourselves that we are victims of circumstance, that life is forcing us down paths we never chose, that other people are the reason behind our unhappiness, our failures, and even our fears. And yes, there are things in life that are completely outside of our control, things we cannot change, no matter how hard we try. But there is one thing that no one can ever take away from you: the choice of how you respond. This is where true power begins. The moment you decide to take responsibility for your life, despite everything that has happened to you, even if you were not the cause of what happened, you move from a position of weakness to a position of strength. Because when you blame others, when you blame circumstances, you hand over the keys of your life, and you remain trapped, dependent, waiting. But when you take responsibility, you take those keys back, and you begin to lead your life on your own terms. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything. It means recognizing that your current situation is your starting point. And from this moment forward, the decision to change your path is yours. No matter how difficult this moment may feel, it can become a new beginning if you choose to face it with a mind ready to think and a heart ready to act instead of complain. Life is not always fair, and that is something we cannot change. But real fairness lies in your ability to use what you have, even if it is very little, to build a better life. Strength does not mean that you never fall. It means that every time you fall, you rise again with a deeper understanding of what to do and what to let go of. Over time, you will begin to realize something powerful. Taking responsibility sets you free because you no longer wait for others to save you or to give you happiness. You begin to create your own happiness with your own hands. Step by step, you start to feel lighter the moment you stop blaming your mistakes on circumstances, because your focus shifts from what you cannot change to what you can actually do. Taking responsibility makes your choices more meaningful because you understand that every decision you make today is shaping a part of your tomorrow. Every moment you choose responsibility, you are building a stronger version of yourself, a person capable of facing life, no matter how difficult or unfair it may seem, because deep inside, you hold the power to try again. But this responsibility comes at a cost. The cost is pain. The pain of walking your own path. The pain of choosing change. The pain of facing yourself with honesty and letting go of the excuses you've grown comfortable with. But this pain is not your enemy. It is part of the journey, because the pain you choose willingly is the pain that shapes you. And that is exactly what we will explore in the next chapter. Chapter 3. The pain you choose shapes you. Life is not free from pain, no matter how hard we try to escape it or pretend it doesn't exist. Every single person carries their share of pain, but the real difference is not between those who suffer and those who don't. The real difference lies in the kind of pain you choose. There is the pain of emptiness, of feeling lost, of looking back with regret at opportunities that slipped away. And there is the pain of effort, of patience, of working tirelessly toward a dream that truly matters to you. There is the pain of holding on to things that don't deserve you, and the pain of letting go, even when it feels incredibly difficult, just to open the door to a wider, more meaningful life. Pain is inevitable, but it becomes lighter when it is tied to purpose. When your pain is connected to something that ignites your heart, it begins to make sense. It gives meaning to every difficult step you take. When you choose the kind of pain that aligns with your values and your goals, you give yourself the chance to grow through the pain, instead of being crushed by it. The pain that comes from facing the truth, from chasing your dreams, from pushing yourself to grow, and from taking responsibility for your life, is the kind of pain that builds you from within. It shapes you into someone stronger, more aware, and more honest with yourself. Because every time you run away from the pain you need to face, you are not escaping it. You are only postponing it. And when it returns, it comes back stronger and harder than before. But when you choose to face pain willingly, something powerful happens. You develop patience. You discover a strength within you, a strength you never knew existed. And you begin to understand that pain is not always your enemy. Sometimes it is a harsh teacher, showing you exactly what needs to change. No one can promise you a life without suffering, but you can choose the kind of suffering you are willing to endure. You can choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret, the pain of learning over the pain of ignorance, the pain of honesty with yourself over the pain of living in a constant illusion. These small, daily choices are what shape the quality of your life, because they build within you a sense of strength and clarity that no fake comfort could ever give you. Those who run away from pain remain prisoners of fear, but those who choose the pain that matters slowly begin to free themselves from that fear. The pain you choose gives you inner freedom. It gives you peace, because deep down, you know you are walking a path you chose yourself. No matter how difficult it may be, you know you are living a real life, not a fragile illusion that you're afraid might break at any moment. But along this journey, you will begin to notice something deeper. Sometimes, the pain you feel does not come from the path itself, but from your expectations, from your need to be perfect, from your attempt to be flawless, from your refusal to accept that you are human, that you will make mistakes, that you will fall, and that this is part of being alive. You will begin to realize that a part of your suffering comes not from reality, but from chasing an illusion that does not exist, perfection. And this is exactly what we will explore together in the next chapter. Chapter 4. Stop chasing perfection. We live in a world that constantly sells us the idea of perfection. Perfect images on our screens, success stories that seem flawless, standards so high, they make you feel like you are never enough. But the truth, the one many minds try to escape, is that perfection is an illusion. It does not exist. And the more you chase it, the further you drift away from yourself, and the more you lose the only moment that truly matters, the one you are living right now. Perfection kills initiative. It steals your courage, and it keeps you from ever starting. You wait for the perfect moment, a moment that never comes. You wait for the day when you feel completely ready, without fear, without mistakes, without flaws. But life does not wait. Time does not pause until you become perfect, and opportunities do not knock twice, just to ask if you are ready now. If you wait for perfection before you begin, you will never begin at all. Mistakes are part of the path. Falling is part of learning, and your imperfections are part of your humanity. A humanity you must accept and make peace with, starting before you feel fully ready. is far better than standing still, dreaming about a life you are too afraid to live. You will never become strong without passing through moments of weakness. You will never learn a new skill without failed attempts. And you will never build yourself without situations where you stumble, hesitate, and feel uncertain. Perfection teaches you nothing. Experience does. Mistakes shape you, and the courage to begin, despite your imperfections, is what gives you a strength you may not even recognize within yourself yet. The moment you accept that you will never be perfect, you begin to feel free. Free from the fear of people's opinions. Free from the fear of failure. Free from the fear of criticism. You begin to understand something powerful. It is not about starting perfectly. It is about starting, continuing, and learning along the way. You begin to turn your mistakes into steps you climb instead of chains that hold you back. Because real life is lived in movement, not in waiting, in action, not in hesitation. And those who succeed are not the ones who were perfect from the beginning. They are the ones who had the courage to start small, to fail, to learn, to adjust their path, and to endure the opinions of others with patience, until they finally reached where they wanted to be. But to truly begin, to move forward toward what you want, without waiting for perfection, you will need to say no. No to many things. No to many people. No to many thoughts that hold you back. You will need to master the art of refusal, so you can create the space and the freedom to live a life that truly fits you. And this is exactly what we will explore in the next chapter. Chapter 5. The importance of saying no. As we grow up, we are taught, directly or indirectly, that we should always say yes. Yes, to be kind. Yes, to be accepted. Yes, to be liked. So we say yes, even when everything inside us wants to say no. We agree to things we don't truly want. We walk down paths that don't fit who we are. And we please others at the expense of ourselves. We say yes out of fear. Fear of seeming rude. Fear of losing people's love. Fear of disappointing others. But in reality, with every unnecessary yes, we lose a small part of ourselves. Because when you say yes to everything, you are not truly saying yes to anything. Your life becomes crowded, filled with other people's expectations. Your days are consumed, trying to meet demands that never end. And slowly, you begin to feel exhausted, empty, unable to focus on what truly matters to you. Constant yes drains your energy, energy that should have been used to build your dreams. It wastes your time, time that was meant to be lived on your own terms. Saying no is not cruelty. In fact, it can be one of the greatest gifts you give yourself. Because no protects your boundaries. It protects your time. It protects your mental and emotional well-being. And most importantly, it allows you to live honestly with yourself and with others. Saying no is not rejecting others. It is accepting yourself, accepting what you truly want and what you truly need. Over time, you will begin to notice something important. People respect those who know when to say no. Yes, some may get upset. Some may walk away. But those who stay are the ones who truly deserve a place in your life. And more importantly, you will remain with yourself. Strong, clear, and authentic. No more masks. No more excuses. Because your life will finally reflect your values, not other people's expectations. Saying no creates space. Space for you to say yes to what truly matters. And that yes, the one that comes from your heart, feels completely different. When you agree to something that aligns with your values, you show up fully. You give your best, because you are no longer forcing yourself into things that don't belong to you. You begin to live each day knowing that you are choosing your life instead of letting life choose for you. Learning to say no is a form of self-respect. It is a declaration that your life is valuable, that your time is limited, that your energy is not available for everything, and that your values are worth more than pleasing everyone. And when you truly understand this, you begin to feel a deep sense of inner peace, because you realize you are not responsible for carrying everything, and you are allowed to say no without fear and without guilt. But to know when to say no, you must first understand something deeper. What are your values? What truly deserves your yes, and what does not? You need to learn the difference between good values and harmful ones, the ones silently shaping your life without you even noticing. And this is exactly what we will explore in the next chapter. Chapter 6. Good values versus bad values. We don't live our lives based only on what we want. We live them based on the values we carry within us. Even when we are not fully aware of them, values are like lens. They shape how we see the world, how we interpret events, and how we make decisions and respond to everything around us. But not all values are the same. Some values push you forward. They help you grow. They push you to take responsibility, while others quietly steal your peace and drain your happiness without you even noticing. Good values are the ones that build something strong inside you. They create patience, honesty, clarity. They prepare you to face life with courage, even when life is not easy. When you make honesty a value, you begin to live lightly, without fear of being exposed, because you are no longer hiding. When you make patience a value, you move through difficulties with a steady heart. And when you value growth, learning, and meaningful goals, your life no longer feels empty or directionless. But bad values are like a boat full of holes. No matter how hard you try to row, you will eventually sink. Constantly chasing people's approval is a broken value, because it turns you into a prisoner of their opinions and their changing expectations. Chasing money without a higher purpose is an empty pursuit, because money alone cannot create happiness unless it serves something deeper, something aligned with your true values. And the desire for absolute comfort or constant validation is an illusion, because it keeps you afraid to take risks, afraid to be different, afraid to be honest with yourself. The truth is, you don't truly choose your life until you consciously choose your values. So ask yourself, what do I really want? And why? What you will often discover is that some of your desires are not truly yours. They are driven by shallow values, like wanting to appear successful, not because you love success itself, but because you want others to see you that way. Or chasing money, not because you seek freedom, but because you fear being judged if you don't have enough. But the moment you understand your values honestly, your path becomes clear. You begin to see what is truly worth pursuing and what is not. Choosing your values does not happen overnight. It requires honesty with yourself, deep reflection, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths. The truths about the things that distract you, drain you, and slowly take away your time and energy without giving anything meaningful in return. You will need to ask yourself honestly, what values are guiding me right now? And more importantly, are these values bringing me closer to the life I want, or pulling me away from it? When you build your life on good values, everything begins to change. You take responsibility for your choices. You choose meaningful struggle. You say no to what doesn't align with you. And you begin to live a life that is clearer, more grounded, and more peaceful. Good values shape you into someone stronger, more resilient, more real, while bad values leave you fragile, easily affected, constantly chasing things that never truly fulfill you. But to live by good values, you must first face something difficult. You must face the truth about yourself. and the truth about your life, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it hurts. You must have the courage to remove the illusions, to see clearly, and to let go of the false narratives that have been tying you to a life that was never truly yours. And this is exactly what we will explore together in the next chapter. Chapter 7. The harsh truth is better than comfortable illusion. One of the easiest things we do is hide behind the curtain of a comfortable illusion. We create stories that protect our emotions, stories that make us feel safe. We justify our mistakes. We close our eyes to the truths that might hurt us or force us to see ourselves and the world differently. This illusion gives us a sense of comfort, but only for a moment, because in reality, it is a hidden prison, one that keeps us from living a real life. The truth, no matter how painful it may be, is what truly sets us free. Facing uncomfortable truths removes the fog from our eyes and allows us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. And this clarity gives us power, the power to make better decisions, the power to move forward, the power to step onto a real path of growth and change, instead of remaining stuck in a dead-end loop of excuses and illusions. The fear of truth is what keeps us trapped in our comfort zone, a false comfort that feels safe, but slowly costs us everything, because the price we pay is a life with fewer opportunities, less growth, and a loss of real control over our own future. But the moment you choose truth, even when it hurts, you give yourself something priceless: freedom. Not the illusion of freedom, but real freedom, the freedom to act, not just speak, because painful truth is not the end of your struggle. It is the beginning of a deeper understanding of who you are and what life really is. Through truth, you begin to discover your weaknesses, but also something far more important: your hidden strength, the strength you never knew you had. You begin to face the parts of yourself you used to avoid. You stop running, you stop pretending, and you finally begin to do the real work, the work that actually changes your life. Facing the truth requires courage, but it is a kind of courage worth everything, because it opens doors that no illusion could ever unlock. The moment you stop distorting reality, you begin to build your life on something solid, a foundation built on awareness, not on false hopes, not on temporary comfort, not on illusions that eventually collapse. And as you continue this journey with truth, you will begin to realize something deeper. The pain you once feared was never your enemy. It was part of your freedom, because true freedom begins when you let go of a powerful illusion, the idea that you are somehow special, that you deserve special treatment, that life should always work in your favor. This idea may feel attractive, even comforting, but in reality, it traps you. It prevents you from seeing yourself clearly and from growing honestly. And here, a new step in self-understanding begins, a step we will explore in the next chapter. Letting go of the idea that I am special, because in that letting go lies true humility, inner peace, and the ability to grow without the limits of illusion. Chapter 8. Letting go of the idea that you are special. From a very young age, we are taught something that seems harmless, even beautiful, that we must be special, that we must be the best, or different in a way that makes others admire us, or even fear us. We grow up searching for constant validation, needing to feel that we stand out, that we are at the center of attention, whether that attention is positive or even negative. But this endless need to feel special comes at a cost, a heavy cost, because it places us under constant pressure. Pressure to prove ourselves, pressure to maintain an image, pressure to always be more. And slowly, it pushes us into living a life that isn't real, a life filled with fear, fear of not being enough. What once seemed like a beautiful idea turns into a heavy burden, one that exhausts your mind and drains your heart. Because when you constantly try to be special, you become overly sensitive to criticism. You fear failure. You refuse to accept your flaws. And you forget something essential: that an ordinary human being is fully worthy of living a peaceful life. When you are always trying to prove that you are different or better than others, you forget how to live the present moment with simplicity and honesty. Letting go of the idea that you are special is not diminishing your worth. It is the beginning of true freedom, because when you accept that you are simply human, you make mistakes, you learn, you fall, and you rise again. You give yourself a kind of peace that is impossible to describe. No more masks. No more exhausting effort to maintain a perfect image that doesn't even exist. Just you, as you are, in all your simplicity and all your quiet beauty. Accepting this truth brings a rare kind of inner peace. It allows you to move through life with patience, with humility, with ease. You no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. You no longer feel the need to be at the top of everything, because you realize something powerful. You are already enough, simply by being a human being who is trying to grow, despite all challenges. And that is more than enough to begin your journey with confidence. But this step is not easy, because it requires you to let go of the walls you built around yourself. It requires you to open the door to vulnerability, to honesty. And that is the true essence of strength. Self-acceptance creates space, space for real growth, because you are no longer wasting your energy pretending to be something you're not. You begin to build your life from a place that is real, clear, and grounded. Letting go of the illusion of constant uniqueness prepares you to face one of your greatest fears, the fear of failure. Because when you are no longer trying to be perfect, failure stops being an enemy. It becomes part of the journey, a teacher, an experience, not the end of the world. And in the next chapter, we will face this hidden enemy together, the fear of failure, and discover how it can transform from something that holds you back into a powerful force that drives you forward. Chapter 9. The fear of failure, your greatest enemy. The fear of failure is the invisible enemy behind most unfulfilled dreams. It is the quiet voice that whispers in your ear, telling you to hold back, to avoid trying, to stay within the comfort zone, because stepping outside of it might lead to failure. And that feels terrifying. But here is the truth we often ignore. Failure is not the end of the road. It is part of the road. Failure is not a mark of shame. It is a valuable learning experience. It gives you the chance to correct your path, to understand what needs to change, and to strengthen your will. Every person who has truly succeeded in life has failed many times, but they didn't give up. They saw failure for what it really is, a sign that they are trying, a sign that they are moving towards something greater than themselves. The fear of failure keeps you from exploring, from experimenting, from discovering what you are truly capable of. It stops you at the very first obstacle, before you even have the chance to grow. But true courage is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to move forward, despite it, to face your fears, to step into uncertainty, to try, even when you're afraid, means that you are standing at the edge of success, even if it still feels far away. The moment you begin to see failure as a teacher, fear loses its power over your decisions. You stop comparing yourself to others, and you begin to focus on your own journey, on the progress you make each day. Even if it's slow, you begin to understand that every failed attempt brings you closer to real success. Because with every failure, you gain experience, an experience that no quick success could ever give you. Failure does not define your worth. It does not define your identity. What defines you is how you respond to it. When you face failure, you have a choice. You can collapse, or you can rise. You can give up, or you can decide to try again. The choice is yours, and the responsibility is yours alone. To overcome the fear of failure, you must remind yourself of something essential. Life is far too short to waste it waiting for perfect success or flawless outcomes. You must move now. Take small steps with determination, even if you make mistakes, because surrendering to fear means denying yourself a life that is truly worth living. And in the next chapter, we will dive into a deeper truth, a truth that lies at the foundation of everything, that preparing for death is the beginning of truly living. Understanding this can free you from your deepest fears and give you a strength like nothing you've ever known. Chapter 10. Preparing for death is the beginning of living. Death is a truth we cannot escape, yet it is one of the subjects we avoid the most. We avoid talking about it. We avoid even thinking about it. We live our lives as if we will live forever. We delay our dreams. We waste our time on trivial things, and we hesitate to make difficult decisions, afraid of what others might think or afraid of uncertain consequences. But something powerful happens when you begin to face the idea of death consciously. Your entire perspective begins to change the moment you truly realize that your life is limited and that every moment that passes will never return. You begin to live with greater honesty. There is no more time to please everyone, no more time to play roles that don't reflect who you really are. You begin to choose what truly matters to you, and you let go of everything that distracts you or drains your energy without a real purpose. Facing death is not surrender. It is not giving up. It is liberation, a free beginning toward a life that is clearer, deeper, and more meaningful. When you understand that your life is not eternal, your fear of other people's opinions begins to fade. You no longer feel the need for constant approval, and you begin to create a life that reflects you, not a version of you shaped by society or forced by your environment. This awareness gives you immense power because it allows you to live each moment fully, without hesitation, without delay. Every decision you make becomes clearer because you understand something deeply. This opportunity might be the only one you get, and time waits for no one. To live with the awareness of death is an invitation to freedom, an invitation to honesty with yourself. Because when you accept this truth, you stop chasing empty things. You stop running after temporary illusions. Instead, you begin to search for meaning, for value, for real relationships, and for a kind of happiness that comes from within, not from the outside world. You begin to build a life that is truly worth telling. This understanding makes you more committed to your values, more clear in your decisions, and more free to say both yes and no with confidence, because you know your time is limited and your attention should only go to what truly deserves it, nothing more. And this realization is what leads us into the next chapter, living according to your own values. Chapter 11. Living according to your own values. More often than we realize, we live our lives based on other people's expectations, on who they want us to be, or on societal standards that don't always align with what we truly believe. And slowly, this creates a quiet distance between us and ourselves. We begin to feel like strangers in our own lives, as if we are living a life that doesn't truly belong to us. But real freedom begins the moment you decide to organize your life around your own values, not someone else's. Living according to your values means one thing above all: honesty. Honesty with yourself. It means knowing what you truly want and understanding what gives you a genuine sense of fulfillment and inner peace. It is not about pleasing everyone or adapting to every situation. It is about standing firm in what you believe, even if that means facing criticism or letting go of certain relationships along the way. Because the moment you begin to live by your values, something shifts. Life becomes simpler. You are no longer overwhelmed by what others expect from you. You are no longer carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. And this freedom gives you something powerful: energy, focus, clarity, energy to grow, focus to move forward, and clarity to build a life that truly reflects who you are. Your values become your compass. They guide you, especially in difficult moments. They protect you from the noise of the outside world, from distractions, from pressure, from anything that tries to pull you away from your path. And when you are clear about your values, your decisions become stronger. Your no becomes easier. Your courage becomes deeper. You begin to face challenges, not with fear, but with purpose. Living according to your values is not always the easiest path, but it is always the right one, because a real life is not measured by how successful you appear on the outside. It is measured by how aligned you are on the inside, by how much peace you feel within yourself, a peace that no external success could ever give you. And this alignment, this harmony within, prepares you to understand something even deeper: the true meaning of the art of not giving a FCK. Because it is not about ignoring life or giving up. It is a conscious choice, a decision to focus only on what truly deserves your attention and to let go of everything else with wisdom and with peace. And this is exactly what we will explore in the next chapter, Chapter 12, The True Art of Not Giving AFCK. At its core, the art of not giving AFCK is often misunderstood. It is not meaningless indifference. It is not the absence of care, and it is certainly not emotional coldness, as some people believe. It is something much deeper. It is a skill, an art, that requires a clear understanding of what truly deserves your attention and what you can consciously let go of without disturbing your inner peace. It is a deliberate choice, a conscious decision to direct your energy, your focus, and your attention toward the things that genuinely add value to your life, and to release everything else with wisdom. When you begin to master this art, something shifts within you. You stop reacting to everything, every opinion, every situation, every distraction. You begin to understand that many things in life are simply not worth your time, your energy, or your peace of mind. No human being can carry the weight of everything or satisfy everyone. And the moment you truly accept this, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure. True indifference is not an escape from reality. It is acceptance. Acceptance of life as it is. Acceptance of its imperfections, its flaws, the things you cannot change. It is the ability to live in an imperfect world without allowing every small problem or every negative comment to shake your confidence or disturb your inner calm. Those who master this art live with a rare kind of inner peace because they choose their battles carefully. They do not waste their energy on things that do not align with their values or their true goals. This does not mean they are emotionless. In fact, they care deeply, but only about what truly matters. And that is what makes all the difference. When you apply this mindset to your life, you become more focused, more productive, more fulfilled. You stop wasting your time on negativity or worrying about things beyond your control. Instead, you direct your effort toward what you can change, what you can improve, what truly deserves your energy. This art becomes your shield against the chaos of the outside world, a chaos that constantly tries to pull you in. And it becomes your weapon to build a life that is clearer, freer, and more peaceful. True indifference gives you the power to live life on your own terms, not according to the expectations of others, and not under the pressure of society. And this is where you begin to understand something profound. A person's strength is not measured by how much they care about everything, but by their ability to know what truly deserves their care and to let go of the rest. Because in the end, that is how you build a life filled with meaning, clarity, and true inner peace. Before we bring this audiobook to a close, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new audiobook. This channel grows and evolves because of you, so be part of a community that values reading and personal growth. And now, as you reach the end of this book, you haven't just reached the final page. You've opened the door to a completely different way of living, a life where you consciously choose what truly deserves your attention and free yourself from everything that doesn't. This is not just a book you listen to. It is an invitation to become the true leader of your own life, to set clear boundaries between you and everything that distracts you and weakens your strength, because life is short and time is limited. So don't waste it chasing endless expectations or trying to please everyone. Your true power begins the moment you decide to care only about what truly matters, to say no to anything that pulls you away from your path, and to accept pain and challenges as part of your journey, not as obstacles. Be brave enough to face the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. And remember this: you are human. You don't need to be extraordinary to live a meaningful life. Learn from failure. Carry your values like a flag and hold on to them through every shift and challenge life brings. And never allow anything to take away your inner peace, because in the end, the true art of not giving a FCK is not about ignoring the world. It is about choosing your battles with wisdom and having the freedom to live life on your own terms. And this freedom gives you the power to be more balanced, more fulfilled, and more grounded as you continue your journey of growth. So take these words, not as an ending, but as a beginning. Start now. Take small steps and build the life you truly deserve. A life filled with strength, honesty, and peace. Because you deserve to live it fully, with all its challenges and all its beauty, without fear and with complete courage. And if you've made it all the way to the end, that says something about you. It shows your love for reading and your desire to grow. So I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which book would you like to see next on this channel?